afternoon, everyone. Bonsoir, Democratic Republic of Congo. Buenas noches, Guinea Equatorial. Boa noite, Angola. We are here because today the United States imposed sanctions on Rwanda. 2 weeks ago, President Trump told me this.
Thank you, Mr. President. Rwanda just violates the peace agreement. What are you going to do about it? You told me last time that there will be consequences. They continue to kill a lot of Congolese people in DRC. Take a look at it. Why isn't the FBI meeting that tired about it?
And last Friday, President Trump told me that he would take a look on Rwanda's violation of the Washington Accord.
Thank you. Mr. President, what are you going to do about the violation of Rwanda? He violated the peace accord.
We're looking at it this afternoon.
Today, the United States imposed sanctions on Rwanda. Take a look.
The U.S. Department of the Treasury's Office of Foreign Assets Control, OFAC, has imposed sweeping sanctions on the Rwanda Defense Force, RDF, and 4 of its top military officials for supporting the armed rebel group March 23rd Movement, M23, in Eastern Democratic Republic of the Congo, DRC. M23 is already sanctioned by both the United States and the United Nations and has been widely accused of human rights abuses and fueling a mass displacement crisis in the region. The U.S. demands immediate withdrawal. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent stated, "President Trump is the peace president, and Treasury will use all tools at its disposal to ensure that the parties to the Washington Accords uphold their obligations. We expect the immediate withdrawal of Rwanda Defense Force troops, weapons, and equipment." The sanctions come months after Rwanda violated the Washington Accords after President Trump hosted DRC President Felix Tshisekedi and Rwandan President Paul Kagame for the signing of the joint declaration on the Washington Accords for Peace and Prosperity.
These accords provide everything needed to end this conflict once and for all. If this agreement falters and things do not work out, the responsibility will not lie with President Trump, but with ourselves.
It's important for the US to accompany the parties to implement what we have signed, because in the past we have signed so many agreements that were not implemented. And we are really, we believe that with your leadership, with the involvement of the United States administration, we will reach that goal. So thank you very much, Mr. President.
Well, this will happen, definitely. We'll make sure that you follow through. We'll make sure you follow through. Yeah. We'll make sure that you follow through.
Shortly after the signing, M23 forces captured the strategic city of Uvira near the DRC-Burundi border, resulting in civilian deaths and forcing thousands to flee. The continued presence of the M23 in Uvira, along with RDF support, has raised fears of a broader regional war. RDF accused of direct military support. According to the Treasury Department, the RDF has deployed thousands of troops into eastern DRC, provided advanced military equipment including GPS jamming systems, air defense systems, drones, conducted direct combat operations alongside M23, trained M23 fighters at RDF military facilities, assisted in recruitment efforts, including the recruitment of refugees. In January 2025, RDF forces reportedly attacked Congolese armed forces, the Southern African Development Community mission in the DRC, and defensive positions of the UN Organization Stabilization Mission in the DRC. U.S. officials also alleged that Rwanda gained access to mineral-rich areas in eastern DRC in exchange for supporting M23's rebellion.
Thank you. Mr. President, can you share with us what can happen if one of the parts violate this peace agreement?
I'd rather not say. I would just say that there are big penalties if they violate, and they're not going to. I don't think they will violate. I think they mean it, but we have very severe penalties, financial and otherwise.
Senior officials sanctioned. The following RDF officials have been designated under Executive Order 13,413. Vincent Nyakarundi, Army Chief of Staff. Ruki Karusisi, Major General, Commander of the 5th Infantry Division. Mubarak Muganga, Chief of Defense Staff. Stanislas Gashugi, Special Operations Force Commander, appointed March 15, 2025. The RDF itself was designated for actions threatening the peace, security, and stability of the DRC and for materially supporting M23. What the sanctions mean. As a result of the sanctions, all property and interests in property of the designated individuals and the RDF that are in the United States or controlled by U.S. persons are blocked. Entities owned 50% or more by sanctioned persons are also blocked. U.S. persons are prohibited from engaging in transactions involving the designated individuals or entities. Violations may result in civil or criminal penalties. OFAC may impose penalties on a strict liability basis. Non-U.S. persons may also face consequences if they facilitate sanctions violations. Financial institutions and businesses worldwide risk exposure if they engage in transactions benefiting the designated individuals or the RDF. In a joint statement, the International Contact Group for the Great Lakes denounced both M23 and RDF military operations and called for RDF withdrawal from eastern DRC. The U.S. government emphasized that sanctions are not intended as punishment alone, but as leverage to encourage behavioral change and restore stability. As tensions remain high in the Great Lakes region, international observers warn that continued RDF involvement could escalate the conflict into a wider regional confrontation.
As we continue to hear from the U.S. administration, more are on the way. We will be back soon with a lot more to share with all of you, so stay tuned.